welcome to my kitchen. I have my print assistants here with me. This is what you should have ordered from Amazon. It's a cyanotype kit. It has 2 different chemicals in it. If you ordered a different cyanotype kit, honestly it's the same chemicals. This one is just the kit that Jacquard sends out. So cyanotype is a light sensitive process. It's kind of similar to screen printing in that way. So this is almost like we're mixing our emulsion. We have part A and part B. Part A is potassium ferric cyanide and part B is ferric ammonium citrate. Those sound really nasty. They're not. This is a perfectly safe DIY process. So we're going to open this up. We're going to add water to part A and add water to part B. Right now they're in powdered form. They only become light sensitive when you mix part A and part B together. So even though we're going to add water to each container right now, they're not light sensitive, so we still have a really long shelf life. So we're going to open this up. It's easier said than done. Can I use your scissors?
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't want to breathe in this powder, so if you have a dust mask at home, great. Those are really hard to find right now. So you can take an old t-shirt, or I'm going to use a scarf, and I'm just going to cover up my nose and mouth here so I don't breathe in the powder. Open each one. I'm using my kitchen sink here. Oops. All right. Mix each one. Rinse off my mess. We're going to shake each one. And we're going to let them sit for about 24 hours. The box says that waiting 24 hours for them to mix before you combine the two and coat your paper gets the best results. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to listen to their advice. All right, next step, we are going to coat our paper or fabric, whatever material you want to create your cyanotype on. I've waited 24 hours after I filled these with water. They are not light sensitive yet, but once I mix them together, they become light sensitive. So you're going to want to do this in minimal lighting, not like this. It does not have to be completely dark because then you won't be able to see what you're doing. But if you just turn the lights off in a room and maybe keep the door cracked or turn on a really small lamp, that'll be fine. And then it's going to dry in complete darkness. So I'm going to do this in my studio now with the lights on so you can actually see what I'm doing. So remember, do this in the dark. Okay, I want to protect the surface I'm working on. If you're at your house or a family's home, right, you don't want to get stuff all over the kitchen counter. You don't want to make a mess. So you can easily just put down some cardboard or cut up some plastic bags, right? There's lots of things you can grab around the house to do this. Okay, I want equal parts of part A to part B. I don't feel like using a measuring cup because I don't want to dirty my own measuring cup, so I'm just going to eyeball how much I want to mix. And I'm being really stingy with my materials because once these are mixed together, they start to have a shelf life. I need to use up everything I mix within the next 2 to 4 hours. I need to coat what I'm working on. So you have enough material to make a lot of cyanotypes. So just mix however many you want to coat for now. Once they are combined, they're light sensitive. That looks pretty good. I'm going to put them in a bowl. Now you need to grab some sort of paintbrush. A foam paintbrush works best, but I know maybe you don't have one available. I also really like a traditional Japanese brush called a hake brush, but you can just grab a paintbrush. If you have like a cheap, wall painting paintbrush, that's fine too. We're gonna mix this together. The reason I poured mine in a bowl is just so I have enough space to dip my paintbrush in to get my material. I'm going to coat some, I think this is Stonehenge paper that I've torn down to size. Get some of the solution. I'm going to sweep across the surface. And to get a really nice even coat, you can sweep across in the opposite direction. So I went horizontal and then I went vertical. Once that's coated, you can move it aside. It's still going to be wet, so you might choose to let it dry on another piece of cardboard. Some canvas. Here, I'll coat with a normal paintbrush. Ooh, that didn't work. I guess it's going to take a lot of the solution for canvas and fabric. Now we're aiming for an even application of the cyanotype chemicals, but that's just to get a really even photographic exposure. Now, if you wanted, you could actually manipulate how you apply the solution. Like for instance, if I only want a section of my canvas to expose, I could just apply the solution in one particular area. Sometimes cyanotype artists don't worry about the edges, and you end up getting like a really cool, like bluish colored painterly mark around the borders of your image. Here, I'll do it with this one. So I'm purposely not going to the edge if I want that effect. Whereas you saw on the paper, I went all the way to the edge because I want a really nice, even application of the solution. All right, I'm gonna take this and put it to the side. And again, just to reiterate what I just said, if you wanted to get a little creative with the border of your image, you could apply it really specifically. If you didn't want like a full-on rectangular image. This will get you some funky results, so just be open to experimentation. Once you've coated all of the materials you want to expose, and I highly recommend you coat a decent amount so you don't have to keep coming back to this stage. I would probably coat like 6 to 8 pieces of paper at whatever size you want, if you want to work small, medium, large. And then these all need to sit in the dark as they dry. So turn the lights off, find a closet, find like a spare bathroom that no one's gonna use for a couple hours, and they just need to air dry. Once they've air dried, you're ready to do your exposures, which is our next video.
Don't look at no stranger.